I appreciate it as you get ready for the quarterfinals of Hockey East versus Maine on Friday. Before we talk about Friday's game, let's talk about the season recap. How's the season played out so far?
Well, it's played out good. I mean, we're a typical team that's just gotten better and better each week of the season. I've been really excited about it. We're a young team. It's one of the youngest teams that I've coached since I've been at Providence, and the guys, they keep getting better. They're a fun group to work with. They're a fun group to come to the rink every day, and I think they're excited. They're really excited to play at this time of the year. But they keep getting better. We had a really good second half, one of the best in the country, and now it's time for the second season.
So would you say, are you peaking at the right time?
I think we are. Yeah, I think we are. And our last game of the regular season, we lost, which as a coach, you don't want to lose, but sometimes it's a really good thing because it'll make our guys a little bit hungrier. So, I would say that we're playing pretty good hockey right now. I think the guys understand what makes them tick and what makes them successful.
So talk about the season a little bit, some of the big wins to where you're at. Number 3 seed in the Hockey East tournament on Friday.
Yep.
But what were the highlights of the season?
Well, I mean, I would say, we've done really well against the other top 3 teams in our league. So if you look at the top 4, we had the best record against those teams. So we beat them all, which was really good. I mean, we had a good trip to Ireland as a team. We spent a week in Ireland, played a tournament over there, lost in the championship game, but that was a great experience. And coming back for Christmas, we played a tournament in Pittsburgh. We won that tournament. That was a good high for us. But I'd say overall the team is had a lot of highs throughout the year, and that's what's been fun.
So I know I asked you in the green room before the path back to the national championship, but it starts one game at a time, the series at a time, looking at Maine. What's the prognosis for Maine? What are the key matchups to be looking for?
Well, the big thing for us is for us to come out and play on our toes, because we're a team, like I said, we're young, and I want the guys just to go out and play their game. I feel like we're talented. I feel like we have good team speed. I feel like when we play to our identity, we'll be the better team. But that being said, Maine, they use their defensemen very well. They scored a lot of goals with their defensemen. And their first line, their top 3 players are pretty good players, and they have a goaltender that's drafted by the Boston Bruins that's had a very good freshman year. So those would be the things I would say that we have to kind of watch in our matchup.
And who are the key players for the Friars?
I would say we're led by our captain, Brian Penno. He's a senior. He's a Washington Capitals draft pick. He's a super kid. He's done a great job of leading our team this year. And outside of that, we have Eric Foley, who's a junior, who's probably going to be one of the players that will be all Hockey East, will be all league. Jacob Bryson is a defenseman on our team, is a sophomore. He's 5'9", but he's one of the smartest hockey players I've ever coached. And he's a terrific player. He led our league in plus minus. He also led our league. He was second in our league by points by defenseman. So he had a terrific year. And I would say those 3 guys are the guys who are going to be kind of stir our pot.
And when you're getting ready for Hockey East and you're getting ready for the weekend, I mean, it's a long season. How are the players holding up? I mean, what's getting ready for the game when you're in March versus back when you're getting ready for your first games in December?
Well, they're a lot more they're a lot more tired of their coach when it comes to March. I can tell you that, because everything's new and fresh, and they hadn't seen their coach for 4 months over the summer. So we've given the guys a lot of time off.
Okay.
We got a bye week. I've given this team more time off than any other team that I ever have, but I think it's a good thing. They're really jumping, and I think they wish the series would have started on Wednesday instead of starting on Friday. But the big thing for them is keeping them fresh, and it's not only in their legs, it's mentally, because we do have the longest NCAA sport. We've been at it 6 months now, and it's really about them just going out and having a fresh mind and having a good mindset and going out and attacking the game.
And how big is hockey fever at PC? I mean, and how big was winning the 2015 national championship?
That helped hockey fever, I can tell you that. Burnt down a couple houses around campus too, but that helped hockey fever. It's been tremendous. We play all of our games on campus, and the basketball team plays downtown. So that allows the students just to walk right from their dorms and catch a game. And we've had great attendance since we started winning, which is really about 5 years ago, and we've been packing the rink. And unfortunately, our students are on spring break, so that's why we need the community to come out and maybe give us that little boost, that little extra, come out there and support the team.
And so if you're watching right now, they need the rest of the community, not just the kids up at Providence College for Friday night, starting with Maine. And let's talk about recruiting. I mean, winning the national championship, I mean, just to, You got that card. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we looking at in the coming years?
Well, I love our recruiting class next year. It'll definitely be one of the top 3, one of the top 5 in the country. So we're very excited about that. We know the future's bright, and I think we'll be very deep. I think that this team, this year, it's really about the guys that we have. It's the fewest players I've ever carried on a roster before. So that's kind of been a little bit different. But next year we'll be deeper. I think we'll be a little faster. We'll be a little heavier. But I want to think about that stuff in the summer. I want to think about this team.
You're thinking Friday.
I'm thinking Friday. I'm thinking. I'm thinking these guys have. This current team they've really paid the price all year. And as a coach, when you get a bye week like this, you get to sit back and reflect a little bit on your team, and you're really proud of them. You're really happy about how far they've come, and you just want it for them so badly.
And we have folks from PC in all the time, from professors and students, and when you're going out and you're recruiting and you're telling them, come to PC, again, that national championship is so huge, but what do you tell them about DC? Like, how does PC work, in your opinion, with the student, preparing them for the post-hockey life?
Well, first of all, when they get on our campus right now, they've put like $45 million worth of work on our campus over the past 5 years.
And beautiful
and there's still more coming because they keep buying a little land around campus, but they've redesigned the whole campus. So a lot of times when we get a student on campus right there, they're going, wow. And the new Art Ryan Business School has been a major booster for our recruiting also, because there are a number of hockey players that want to study business. I think that's just more of the student coming in these days. They want to know what they're going to do after college right away. So that's been a big recruiting tool also. But the big thing for us, 11 to 18 students in a class. Your professors at a school where it's 4,000 students. Our guys couldn't get a better experience. They really couldn't. I mean, they support athletics at our school, but when they're outside of the rink, they're getting a great education. They're around people that care about them. And I had never worked at a Catholic school. This was my first time, and I can tell you, anything that happens, and we've had a lot of things happen over the 7 years I've been coach, from grandparents passing away, or, maybe things happen in a home, or, last year we had a player that had a heart condition and he can no longer play, and we had a player 2 years ago with cancer. I mean, it's the community aspect of PC, of people coming out of the woodwork, Dominican friars coming out of the woodwork just to help and just to want to be there. That's probably the most unique thing I've ever seen on campus. And I know you're a Crimson, a Harvard Crimson there. I worked at Harvard, I worked at Maine, and I worked at Union College, and I can just tell you, that's very special about PC.
So you've been around, and I just have to ask, I mean, do you have the wardrobe of all the black and white for the Friars getting ready? Yeah. You have to change a wardrobe every time you move.
Well, our athletic director gets on us if we don't wear our school colors. So we actually had to get nice shirts designed with our logo. But
that really is a school shirt.
That it really is a school shirt.
I thought you just, were out looking for black, looking for white, looking for black.
we brand it up, you know what I mean? We got to get it going. But this is a State and Liberty shirt, and the founders of this company are ex-Division I hockey players.
Wow.
And they make these shirts to kind of fit. And so when our team went over to Ireland, we were fortunate enough to have an alum of the program get a shirt for every one of the guys on the team. So this has been kind of a nice plus. It's very comfortable, and you look nice when you come on shows like yours.
I'm glad I asked, because I just thought, you look very Friar-esque, and there's always a story. The big story, though, is on Friday when the number 3 seeded Providence College men's hockey team faces number 6 Maine for the series, and Hockey East this weekend. Again, kids are off campus somewhat for spring break, so wants the community to come out and support in the run for another national championship. Coach Nate Leaman, I appreciate your taking the time to come in today. I'll let you back to campus, back to the players. We'll have more coverage on PC men's ice hockey with Hockey East this weekend. I'll let you go around the corner.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay, thanks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our next guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center.